episode 315. Welcome to the weekend. It's Saturday. Big news. Big news. A number flipped the Cubs cardometer last night. Big Cubs acquirement. What's the word I'm looking for? I acquired a bunch of Cubs cards last night. So we'll talk about that. Looks like I'm skipping a little bit. My computer's on the fritz this morning. So that's pretty much all I have to talk about this morning. My hobby plans today. I'm gonna do some eBay shipping. I'm gonna finally put pen to paper and catch up. So I was really organized tracking my trades in 2019 and 2020. 2018, I really didn't track any of my trades. 2020, I wanted to fix that. I wanted to document all the cards that came in. So I did that. And then I was finding that I was always losing addresses. So I'd have to go back and to be more. And so 2020, I did that much. 2021, it just kind of fell apart because all of a sudden my focus quarter one was eBay sales. And so I've been very behind on trades and the database in general. I haven't updated the numbers, so I'm going to try to tackle that today. So I'm going to try to catch up on trades this weekend. Brian, what's up? Brian, last night I was the Cubs boxes. Yes, I opened your box. I caught up on all of the trade packages. And so I wanted to get the accurate count from the previous week or two of Cubs cards that have arrived, adding in the 58,000 Cubs cards that I picked up last night. So Brian, I think there were two, besides the art cards, which I'm going to have to tweet out today. Besides those two, I think there were two other cards that I did not have. So there was a Topps Now. Was it Nick Castellanos? I did not have that. So that was one. And then there was one other, I can't remember. And then there was a third that I may or may not have. So I'm not always like accurate on what cards. It's kind of one of those where, hey, I don't recognize this card. So there were two for sure that I didn't have. The Castellanos Topps Now, and I can't remember. I was gonna bring them in to show them off, but so there was a second one, and then there was a potentially third one. The third one I do remember. It's the Kerry. There was a Kerry Wood, and it didn't look familiar. I may have it because I just have thousands of Kerry Wood cards, but it didn't look familiar. So there was definitely two, possibly three that I didn't have. So that was awesome. So I will, I'll be tweeting out the art cards, and then losing my voice this morning. And then I'll show the ones I didn't have. So in Herman's box, I counted those. I opened the envelope live when those came in with the Red Lobster set, and then I dug into the rest of the box. I got a box yesterday from Chris Gamble. There was 2,500 Cubs cards in a medium flat rate box from Chris. A couple days ago, I got a box from Steve down in Tennessee. We do frequent trades. He's a Red Sox guy. 700 came from him. My buddy Aaron out in West Virginia sent a Cubs book, and I think there were 20 Cubs cards along with the book. And I think there was one or two other boxes that I opened up that I'm forgetting. There was a smaller box. Who was that from? If I look in my phone, so I've been tracking instead of the database, I have been tracking them on my notepad. So I'm going to have to go through because I have to add those to the database. Oh, Gerald New was the other box. And there was a bunch of new cards, new Cubs cards that I didn't have from Mr. New. What's up, Mark? Good morning. So that is that. 58,000. 58,000. I got to take a drink of water. 58,000 Cubs cards in addition to those trades added to the count last night, which is now very close to 650,000. 648, 114 is the updated Cubs baseball card count. My buddy David, he lives in Elk Grove Village. So he came up and we met in Madison last night and gave him some Cardinals. It was a cash and trade. So paid some cash and a big box of Cardinals cards because he's going to move those to another Cardinals collector. So he's got a few teams that he deals out. He actually pays somebody to team sort. That's genius. I need to find somebody, hood kid. Hey, I'll pay you $5 or $10 an hour, sort these cards. I don't know. I'll have to ask him how much he pays, but that's pretty genius. So because I picked up how many did I pick up last time? 28,000, I think, was our last trade back in February. So David is actually added to the Cubs project almost 100. Let's see, 58, there's 28. So around 100,000, maybe more than 100,000 Cubs cards from David alone. And we've done trades for a couple years now, I think dating back to 2019. We actually met in a Facebook. So this is what I love about the project. It's not the Cubs cards. It's not getting 100,000 Cubs cards from David. It's the backstory and how small of a world it is. So David and I met on a Facebook baseball card group, and he was looking to do some bulk trades. And so at the time he was looking for Red Sox, and I had a bunch of Red Sox, and I'm like, hey, I'm a Cubs guy. So I think we did a flat rate box Cubs for Red Sox, and we did that through the mail. And then he had a couple months later, I think it was later in the year, it was heading to November. And he's like, I've got, 5,000 more. He's like, are you going to the show, the Spectacular in Rosemont? And I was. So we did an in-person trade in Rosemont. I introduced him to my buddy Steve from Greenie's Cards out in Cleveland, Ohio. So we kind of have this triangle trade going. And we help each other out, and David will trade. If I don't have, I've run out of Astros and Rockies, and I have them now, but at the time I was running low on some of the cards that Steve in Cleveland was looking for. So David can help out there. David needs, say, White Sox and Red Sox. I've got a bunch, so I can trade my Red Sox and White Sox to David, who can then use those for other trades. And then David uses, he has an excess of Astros and Rockies that he gives to Steve. Steve adds in the Cubs along with the Red Sox and White Sox to David, and then David siphons the Cubs off to me. So we've got this nice little triangle trade working, dating back to 2019. And so our initial meeting, going back to the Small World story, our initial meeting, he's got a unique last name. And he's from Elk Grove Village. I broadcast. I'm really struggling this morning. What's up, Herman? I broadcast the Illinois high school softball state finals. I didn't this year because it was a wacky COVID year. They bunched the finals up into 2 days for all 4 classes, and they were Wednesday, Thursday. So I would have, and the super sectionals that lead into the championship games were Monday. So usually they're Monday, super sectionals, the qualifying for the state finals, and then the finals start Friday. And then it's 2 weekends for the 4 classes. So obviously I'm not, covering softball, so I don't really know the teams. I wouldn't have any time to devote. I would have to I would have to cram last weekend with 16 teams, and then 8 of those, is that right? No, 16. I would have to cram for 32 teams. 16 of those would be qualifying for the state finals, and then I would have like no time because I would either have to take Tuesday off of work and then have to take 3 days off, and then or go to work Tuesday, drive down to Peoria after work Tuesday, cram all night, and then do the games on Wednesday and Thursday, and then drive back to get to work on Friday. So it didn't work. It just didn't work out, and I wasn't guaranteed. So normally I broadcast all 16 games. There's four games Friday, 4, 8, 16. Yeah. So I would only do they could only guarantee me the 4 championship games because they were all running consecutively. So they would have 2 semifinal games at the same time. Then they would have the other 2 semifinals for the other class, that would kind of jump up and overlap. So it just I would be doing more work in less time for 25% of the pay. And it's see you next year. So several years ago, that was kind of off on a tangent. Several years ago, Elk Grove Village was in the softball state finals. One of their star players shared the same last name as David. So I noticed the name, where he was from, and I'm like, hey, I broadcast the state finals. Did you have a relative that played? And he's like, yeah, my daughter was on that team. So I broadcasted his daughter's softball state finals games when Elk Grove Village was there. It's been almost 10 years now, probably 7, 8 years ago. So small world story. So that's fun. What's up, Tom? Good morning. Next time you do Peoria softball, I can be your Jim Deshays. So David and I go back a couple years with the trades. So 58,000 Cubs cards added in last night's trade with an assist from Steve because David actually drove out to Cleveland back in March, and checked out the Greeny Sports Cards place in Cleveland, and did the trade. And so a bunch of those come from Steve. Steve actually held the previous record. We did a trade, and I think it was at the National in Chicago in 2019. We did a trade for 35,000, I think was the trade. And that was pure trade. No cash changed hands. That was pure trade. And I think I traded Astros, Rockies, Indians, Diamondbacks, just a bunch. So that was the previous record. New record, 58,000. So I know my buddy Mike down in Bloomington has a whole bunch. I think last time he told me he had around 30,000. So could be another big. And I plan on going down to his shop, Mike Summer, Wax Pack Hero. Plan to go down to Bloomington, check out his shop at some point this summer. And then it may be post-national because we're running a week from today is my card show here in Madison. It's like hobby summer, breaking out hobby summer after a year and a half of being cooped up and not going anywhere. So our card show next Saturday at the Sheraton in Madison. And then we'll do another show right before the National. So, and then our July show is a week before the National. So hopefully I can make a few bucks, a few more bucks before that, the National. And I'll be gone. So July, 24th is a Saturday. That's our Madison card show. And then I took Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off from work. So I'm going to go down Wednesday morning to the National, get checked in, do the VIP party in the afternoon, and then just walk the floor and shop for Cubs, and probably other deals. Whenever I say I'm going to go shopping for Cubs, I end up bringing home a monster box of basketball rookies, or the like. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So probably July, I'll lay low from the hobby until the end of the month when I just go crazy with my card show in the National. So Cubs count is now 648,114. I should be getting another shipment of mega boxes today. The tracking on this one has been wonky. It showed shipped, but hasn't arrived. And also, I ordered some gear that I'm gonna be showing off at the National. Some attire, because you've got it when you collect 1,000,000 Cubs cards, you have to look the part, right? You have to stand out. So I ordered some stuff that should be delivered tomorrow. So where's this? Here it is. So yeah, I have 13 more mega boxes. It keeps saying delivery expected today, but the tracking history, oh, we have an update. Your package will arrive later than expected, but is still on its way. It's currently in transit to the next facility. That was updated yesterday. Fun with the mail. There's Mike. What's up, Mike? Yes, my pile for you continues to grow. Love it. Yes. So we'll probably see each other at the National, but I do want to make it down to Bloomington post national. So like in mid-August, early August. So mega boxes. I may open some mega boxes today, but I'm going to focus on catching up on some trades, doing some eBay sales. eBay sales are just crazy slow right now. It's weird because they did pick up like overnight. I think I made more eBay sales from between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. last night into this morning than I did all day yesterday, because my average continues to drop, which I expected it to, but some of these numbers that I've seen this week are much lower than I had anticipated. So that sale and that sale was early today. So June 19th numbers, I'm at 1, 2, 3. And there was a batch of cards. So 4 transactions, 5, 6. So 6 transactions already today. Yesterday saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I guess there was more than I thought. So 10 yesterday. So we're already at 60%. So Herman asks, what was your Cub goal for the year? 700,000. So 700,000 was the goal. Even though I'm doing less volume trades, less number of trades, I should get there based on, last night's haul, my previous haul from David in February, when I go down and see Mike. So those will add to the number very quickly. So pretty confident that I'll hit 700,000. It's June 19th and I'm at 648,000 with still the National to come and going down to see Mike. So should hit that number, and I think I should hit that number. I think I hit 500,000. 500,000 was my goal last year, and I hit that before the fourth quarter started. So that's when I turned the focus on. I hit my goal. I hit my goal before fourth quarter, so I'm going to use fourth quarter to focus on eBay sales, and that's, we saw the hobby just absolutely explode as we headed into quarter 4 last year and in the winter months in the middle of COVID. So I could really focus on eBay sales, build that extra disposable income, strictly card money up. So I have cash on hand for some of these deals, for the National and all that. So 700,000, the goal for the end of 2021. I don't know what goal. So I'm averaging, like, yearly is like 125,000. That's kind of the average per year I'm getting. So I like to bump that up a little bit more. So kind of depending on where I land going into December, I'll set my goal based on the number. So right now, I don't know what my 2022 goal is going to be, because I don't want to set a goal now of, say 850,000 for the end of 2022, and then the million would come by 2023. I don't want to set that if I hit 800,000 in December and then I only need 50,000, because then you just kind of get comfortable. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to focus on eBay sales because I I only need 50,000 cards for the entire year. So I want to hold off and wait until December, see where my number's at, and then I can set a smart goal for 2022. So if I do hit 700,000 or, I can make, I think if I hit 700,000 and that's kind of right in the ballpark where I'm at in December, then I'll probably do 850,000 for 2022. And then, just kind of anticipating the million to come at the end of 2023. But I have a feeling, just based on some of these projections, I think I'm going to build some momentum the rest of this year. I think now the 1 million could hit by the end of 2022. I was kind of like originally forecasting it for like 2024 or 2025. But I think things are the counts are kind of increasing. Like I think the first year was like 100,000, and then it was like 125,000, then it was like 140,000. So the numbers kind of keep rising on how many Cubs cards I acquire in a year, kind of fast forwarding things. So it's one of those things where I don't want it to end because it's been so much fun. But at the same time, like last night when I was sorting cards, it's like, Brian asking, do you have any, were there any cards that you didn't have? And I knew off the bat there were a couple. But then there was the one Kerry Wood where it's like, I wish I knew if I actually had this or not. So it's like, and then I started thinking, I'm going to have to organize 1 million cards. That's going to be a chore. So maybe I should get this thing over with and get that 1 million. So then my focus can turn on getting them organized, because I'm a numbers guy. Obviously I'm trying to collect 1 million. I'm a numbers guy. So I love to see those numbers, and I love like the stats behind it. So like, I would love to say I have 714 1994 Topps Carl Rhodes cards. I have, and I kind of have an idea how many 1978 Topps Rick Russell cards I have. It's around 1,300. But I kind of like, how many Les Lancaster cards do you have? Well, I have 3,718 Les Lancaster cards. I just think that would be a really cool part of the project. And then I can start, showing off some of the cards on the website, 1millioncubs.com. So those are some of the plans for post hitting the goal. So yeah, I think on the trajectory that I'm at, I think I could hit the 1 million mark by the end of next year or the beginning of 2023, just kind of based on the momentum of the project. Hosting doing more card shows, hosting the Madison Card Show, that's helped. I mean, I've been able to, each card show I've done, I've left with the April show. I didn't have too many cards, but I didn't really advertise that I'm the 1 million Cubs card guy at the April show. I went into the April show just kind of, let's see how this goes. Let's wait and see. Then April, it's like, hey, here I am. Give me your Cubs cards. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So the May show, I had a bunch come in, and I think I left with like 10,000 Cubs cards from the May show, and I had several hundred when I went down to Rockford. So that's that. Tom says, I'm the lame guy who gave you most of the Les Lancasters. Love it. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget tonight, we're going to talk Hobby Roundtable. Speaking of card shows, we're going to touch on the bargain boxes, and I'm saving this for the roundtable that you can watch on 3B Collections channel tonight at 7 p.m. Central. I've been saving this because I've talked a lot since hosting the Madison Card Show of my bargain boxes and my quarter box strategy. And so I talked about what I did in April, and then I went all out in May, and then I decided maybe I'm gonna step back for the June show, but I'm not. And I'll tell you what I'm doing for next week's show, why I'm doing it, because I did a complete 180. I did a complete 180, talked myself out of it. What I'm going to do with my bargain boxes, some of the things that I've picked up and that worked, some of the things that didn't work. So just continuing improvement on my bargain boxes. So tune in tonight, 7 p.m. Central, Hobby Roundtable on 3B Collections channel. So have a great Saturday, and catch me tonight. Catch me tonight on the Hobby Roundtable. Probably go live tomorrow again. Probably same time. I'll sleep in a little bit. I had a few beers last night, so I slept in this morning. So who knows? I'll probably have a few beers tonight on Hobby Roundtable. Maybe I'll sleep in tomorrow. So have a good one. We'll talk tonight. Thanks.